Today, Ghana wakes up counting the cost of another devastating flood. Families have lost homes, businesses have been submerged, and roads have become rivers. And for many, the morning begins with not with hope, but with recovery. Government has announced the release of 300 million Ghana cedis for relief and flood mitigation. It is a significant intervention. Or is it? But for many victims, the present questions remain. Could this have been prevented? Are we responding to disasters, or are we preparing for them? As flood waters recede, another concern begins to rise. The Ghana Health Service is stepping up efforts to prevent outbreaks of cholera, malaria, and other waterborne diseases that often follow disasters like these. History has shown that when floods end, another battle often begins. And beyond Ghana, South Africa is confronting another crisis. This one involving migration and social cohesion. Massive demonstrations held yesterday called for the removal of foreign nationals, reigniting debates across Africa about immigration, unemployment, and xenophobia. These stories may seem different, but they are connected by one question. How do governments protect lives before crises become emergencies? Here on ABC in the morning. Today's quote of the day: natural disasters are not political events. They are human tragedies that demand solutions, and very much so. For Ban Ki-moon reminds us of that. Former UN Secretary General reminds us that natural disasters are not political events. They are human tragedies that demand human solutions. It is why we must approach disasters with a human face. But as we approach disasters with a human face, we should also ensure that our duty bearers are doing right by us. It rained. The floods came, the waters are receding, but the structures remain. If it does rain again with that kind of intensity, what would it become like for many of us? We need our structures to work. We need duty bearers to be up and doing. Enough of the talk shop, enough of the rhetorics. We need to get to work and ensure that our laws are being adhered to. We really need to. And so, natural disasters are not political events. They are human tragedies that demand human solutions. Former Secretary General of the UN, Ban Ki-moon, reminds us of that. Today we'll bring you the newspaper headlines. We will also bring you daily drops so you know what is trending on social media, and bring you various conversations about this issue that we are faced with, the flooding. President has directed that some 300 million Ghana cedi be disbursed for relief and flood mitigation. Is it enough? Health Service is talking about cholera and the outbreak of other diseases. Very important. Yesterday I was talking about it here on ABC in the morning. So yes, I'm excited that they've brought that up. We'll look at conversations around all that. And then I'll do want to open the phone line so you can call and share your thoughts with me. You can also leave me a comment under our stream, because we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, ABC News GH, ABC News GH. Please like and subscribe to the page. Turn on post notification. That way you will be updated whenever we are live on air. You can also interact with us via socials at ABC News GH _ and our website is www.abcnewsgh.com, www.abcnewsgh.com. We'll be giving you all of the news that it happens there on the website. So join us today. We'll bring you so much conversation that you'd love to have here on ABC in the morning. It's the first day of July. It's Wednesday, 1st July 2026. We are in a brand new month, the 7th month of the weekend of the year. It means we have done 6 months. We have done half the year. I pray for you that the rest of the half of the year you're able to achieve all that you look forward to. Thank you so much for joining me here today on ABC in the morning with me, ABENA MANTE. We'll take a break. When we return, we look at the newspaper. Stay with me.
Things never change when it comes to feeding your family. You choose what you trust. For generations, Juno has delivered the same dependable quality every time. Thick, red, rich. Juno truly cares. This advert is FDA approved.
Baby, we are second. So you never took one. Advert. Yes, why is so by advert?
Do you need a media house to shoot quality TV ad for your company or products? Bring your company's vision to life.
And then we come from media house we have potential films. So it must don't worry. So we put a question through advert contact woman.
We help businesses build their brands,
quality
reach their target audience, and ultimately drive sales and revenue growth.
Perfect. Contact me about good script about your product, sound, jet. They'll give you quality pictures. How do you see it? How do you feel it? Wow. So picture now na makasa. First number 0541 16 28 28. I'm repeating 0541 16 28 28. Call them.
Potential fans, we believe in
playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
The culture never chills, and neither do we. Viral moments, breaking stories, new drops, exclusive interviews, spotlight artists shaping the sound right now, and our African Star of the Week taking over timelines. Then it's straight to the top 10, the songs running the streets, owning your playlist and living rent-free in your head. No skips, just hits, pure vibes. This is the Rundown, your ultimate destination for everything entertainment.
Welcome back, ABC in the morning. Let's turn our attention to the newspapers and see what they are telling us. We begin with the Daily Guide newspaper. 30 perish, 7 missing in deadly Accra Central flood. 350 million Ghana cedi relief package announced. One life lost is one life too many. I am sad. 30 who have died, 7 who are missing. Are there even some numbers that are unaccounted for? We would not know. This is a very disturbing issue. Flooding, when the rains come, the rain should come and go. We shouldn't be experiencing this amount of devastation. It is too painful. Away from that, still on the Daily Guide, Telecel closes Ashanti month with mother and baby unit adoption. All right. And Afoko gets Dr. Amin Adams' support. Well, Paul Afoko, in his bid to become national chairman of the NPP. And finally, Parliament passes maritime related offences bill. All right, these are the stories on the front page of the Daily Guide. Now, the Ghanaian Times newspaper: 12 dead, nearly 500 rescued in Accra floods. Ghana National Fire Service says so. Telecel pays courtesy call on President Mahama. And MOFA launches 42nd National Farmers Day. All right, Farmers Day sometime in December. Court denies decides Wontemi's fate on July 20. All right. And the big story on the Ghanaian Times newspaper: President's direct release of 300 million Ghana cedis for flood reliefs and mitigation efforts. Now to the Daily Graphic. Demolish structures obstructing waterways. President directs MMDAs and government votes 300 million Ghana cedis for flood impact. Sedina Tamaklo in prison, all right, and over 6,000 security service applicants test positive for drugs. 12 dead, 7 still missing. Interior Minister tells Parliament. We hope that those who are missing are found, so that their families can also be rest assured or have some closure to the matter. The Dispatch newspaper, what Ghana taught the world in 90 minutes, the psychology of Ghana-England draw. All right, you should read that in the Dispatch newspaper. Police arrest 186 suspects in the Ashanti region. And for NPP to win, unity in the party is not negotiable. Paul Afoko says so. Let's bring you some more stories. The Chronicle newspaper. The Chronicle newspaper. Audit Service admits single sourcing 10 contracts to TRC Consult. Minority supports JM's 300 million Ghana cedi flood relief, but Amin Adam, I back a focus chairmanship bid. Downpour kills 12, 38,000 are affected. The Searchlight newspaper, Daily Searchlight, says, declare state of emergency. Baumia says so. This is on the floods, death and destruction. And when you're marking minority, persist with flood politics. Okay. And British Council celebrates Ghana's top Cambridge learners at 2026 Partner Schools Awards. Congratulations to the learners. Away from the Daily Searchlight, the news, the Informer tells us Mahama orders flood crack down. Jospon intensifies fight and Baumia sympathizes with victims. Accra flooding crisis, Methodist Church prays for Ghana. Ghana, government must justify agency bills. Okay. And OSP combats corruption. Builds generation, rejects fraud. Okay. These are the stories on the Informer newspaper. The Source newspaper, be transparent with 300 million Ghana cedi flood relief, minority to government, and over 38,000 displaced in Accra. The Minister for the Interior is telling us that a united national effort is needed to tackle floods. Dr. Baumia says so. The Punch newspaper, don't let floods turn into malaria crisis. Would need to be clearing stagnant waters and ponds and puddles. All of them would need to deal with that to ensure that we don't go through a very serious situation that we may not be able to recover from. GFZA caught U.S. investors at Ghana Business Forum. President Mahama commended for increasing disability fund allocation. Mankraso DCE says so. Let's turn our attention to more newspapers. Supreme newspaper, extortion scandal rocks Wasa Menfi East. 8 fake NDC security operatives. NDC chairman arrested. Let's put politics aside. Baumia calls for national collaboration to address recurring floods. EPA CEO storms Summer Boy over recent Galamsey-induced flooding. So what do we do beyond the storming? Enforce the laws, please. Please do enforce the laws. Afoko gets heavyweight backing as Dr. Amin Adam declares support. And some more stories here. Muntaka confirms Ghana just had its rainiest June period. An emergency rule needed for Accra floods. Daily Gist. No Kululu in 300 million Ghana cedi relief fund. Minority tells government. Baumia asks Mahama to consider state of emergency over Accra floods. Standobe flood task force flops as Mahama hops in inspection. Death toll hits 30 in Accra. Central Region floods. Ex-Finance Minister backs Afoko for NPP chairmanship. These are the stories on the front page of the Daily Gist. The Discover newspaper. Flooding knows no party colors. Let's fight us as one nation. Baumia says so. Also on the Discover newspaper, we've lost everything. Flood victims count heavy losses. Baumia calls for the declaration of a state of emergency. What June took from Ghana, flood kills over 13, displaces 38,000. Indeed, the floods have really rocked the nation. We have suffered significant losses, and I pray that we are able to deal with this matter and not see it happen again. It is too stressful. The Daily Analyst newspaper. Government to demolish buildings on 6 wetlands following deadly floods that killed 10. Indeed, please, if you have to demolish them, not even if you have to, wetlands, Ramsar sites are not lands that we need to build on. Please demolish them. Let's enforce the laws. A few people's unruliness should not cost the country, and those who gave permits for all of these buildings should also be sanctioned. Yesterday in Parliament, when they were debating this matter, one of the MPs, beg your pardon, I've forgotten his name, was speaking and was talking about how now it is not the politicians that are causing what we are seeing. If there's anybody to blame, it has to be the technocrats, the people working in the government sector who are doing this. If politicians are apportioning blame, and we know people have been taxed to be able to crack the whip when we cause this amount of harm to the country, please crack the whip, because this devastation, the lives of those who have died cannot be for waste. The loss of property cannot be for waste. It cannot be recycled issues every time. Still on the Daily Analyst, Mahama orders 300 million flood relief package. Flood disaster is a national tragedy, not partisan issue. Baumia says so. June 2026 sets Ghana's all-time rainfall record, and COPEC projects fuel price cuts. NP attributes flooding to power infrastructure and waste dumping. We also know it is because we are not enforcing the laws. Please enforce the laws. Let's turn attention to the Africa news today. Suleiman Brahima and the Fourth Estate exposed over NLA KGL. Over NLA and KGL. Akufo-Addo government invested over 550 million Ghana cedis in flood control projects. Richard Ahianda says so. Stop politicizing local floods. Central Tongue MP. All right, and then we see we also see on the front page of the African News today, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagin. MP highlights digital divides, urges action on mobile and social platforms, says MSMEs can boost revenue by 40%. Chiefs in Mepe push for dialogue, and MP blames recent flooding on whom? You grab the paper or a copy of African News today and you see who he is blaming. Well, these are all the stories the newspapers are bringing us, but very, very prominent on all of these newspapers are the stories of flooding. We've seen the devastation of flooding. Is it going to be for nothing? Are we going to crack the whip? Are we going to enforce the laws? Are we going to ensure that this doesn't happen again? We are all watching our duty bearers, because this devastation cannot happen again. If it does, I don't know what our capital is going to be like or look like. And so if we need to be up and doing, we need to be quick, really, really quick and up and doing in this matter of flooding. Away from the newspapers, let me take you to social media and let's see what is trending.
After yesterday's flood, President John Dramani Mahama has announced plans to develop a new administrative city outside Accra after what he described as the capital's worst flooding event. Following an aerial assessment of affected areas, the president directed the Finance Ministry to release contingency funds for flood relief through NADMO and ordered district assemblies to remove structures blocking major drains and stressed the need for better waste disposal and reduce future flooding. This is something that we have said over and over and over again. Before flooding, during flooding, after flooding. We say it too, but we don't do it. We don't listen. I don't know whether our problem is execution, strategy, or execution. But this time, I hope that when they go and they demolish a house that is blocking something, nobody will come and lay it on anybody. You won't come and then blame the government for something that we, the citizens ourselves, are doing. Be informed. Member of Parliament for Inshaeso, Dr. Stephen Amo, has announced a tough measure to curb underage gambling, alcohol abuse, and unregistered motorbikes and illicit drug camps in the constituency. Speaking at an event where he awarded scholarships to 300 students and donated street lights and computers to schools, the MP said minors caught gambling and drinking alcohol, as well as perpetrators who allow such activities, will face arrest. He also announced a ban on unregistered motorbikes and vowed to dismantle an illegal drug camp while introducing skills training in trades such as carpentry, barbering, and hairdressing to help rehabilitate former drug users. Dr. Amo further urged parents to play a more active role in raising their children to protect them from crime and other social vices. And say people in Inshaeso constituency, you know, the underage people now, we don't even take a look at them when they are doing all these things. Now it's sad. Yeah. But what can we say? Their parents are there. They are watching them. We have grown from that time where they say a community, you know, raises a child. We have grown from there. Go and beat somebody's child for drinking alcohol, or go and, you know, for underage gambling, and you see what the parents themselves will come and do to you. Charlie, we have moved far. Be informed.
So you dey try tell me say Paraguay commands Germany for the World Cup inside. 4-time world champion, the German machine. He said they only Paraguay command them for the World Cup inside for penalty shootout. Hey, this one be a shock. It really touched me. And not only that one they shocked me. Morocco also command Netherlands for the tournament inside. Charlie, this World Cup, they show say the big dogs, they don't really the big dogs like that too. Make you not underestimate anybody, make you not even look down in the country at all. Because anybody will fit promote anybody. Yesterday, Paraguay and Germany hold the game hard and play some hard 1-1 game where the game ended up in the penalty shootout. Charlie, Jonathan time penalty, they say the ball is still fly over here. The ball they go towards, they left USA, they head towards Mexico. Cry, you know the joke. The penalty he missed some. Kai Havertz also missed penalty. Otemada also missed penalty. Hey, German machine. Germany have been knocked out of the 2026 World Cup, and they are not the only ones. The Netherlands, yesterday, Morocco put up a tough skin. They held the game to a draw and it went down to penalty shootout. Yesterday, I see Bruno, the Moroccan goalkeeper, in antics, maybe joke. The way he catch the last ball with flex and some aura be like that. Hey, the Netherlands have also been knocked out of the 2026 World Cup. So right now, for the round of 16, Paraguay may come and Morocco have also made it. Brazil also managed to keep Japan out of the tournament. Japan scored an early goal in the first half, but Brazil came back hard and strong. Vinicius Junior. People they sleep on Vinicius Junior for this World Cup tournament. Go watch Brazil the games and see the ball Vinicius Junior they play. Brazil scored Japan 2-1, with the managed knock Japan out of the tournament. And not only Japan will come out to, the South Africans have been asked to go back. They have gone back. In fact, they are back in their country. They are in their country. They've also been knocked out of the World Cup by Canada. So the round of 16, the teams that have been able to make it through is Canada, Brazil, the Moroccans, and the Paraguay team as well. Who will join them next? Let's talk in the comment section. Let me know who you are tipping to also make it to the round of 16. Remember that Ghana will be facing Colombia in the round of 32. Let's talk in the comment section.
Well, so these are what's trending on social media. The World Cup is still ongoing. The round of 32 is underway. Very soon, Ghana would also face Colombia. That will be on Saturday. Is it going to be Ghana? I believe it will be Ghana. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll turn our attention to some very important conversations, especially concerning flood and our security here on ABC in the morning. Please stay with us.
Things never change when it comes to feeding your family. You choose what you trust. For generations, Juno has delivered the same dependable quality every time. Thick, red, rich. Juno truly cares. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocolate. This advert is FDA approved.
Baby, we are sick. So you have to pon advert. Let's why so by advert no you to pon na kwa media.
Do you need a media house to shoot quality TV ad for your company or products? Bring your company's vision to life.
And then come from media house we are now. Potential films. So you don't worry. So we put you to pon a cost you through advert there. Contact one.
We help businesses build their brands,
quality,
reach their target audience, and ultimately drive sales and revenue growth.
Perfect. Contact them good script about your product, sound, jet. They'll give you quality pictures. How do you see it? How do you feel it? Wow. So put you now on Makasa. First number 0541 16 28 28. I'm repeat 0541 16 28 28. Call them. Number 1
Potential Films. We believe in quality.
The culture never chills, and neither do we. Viral moments, breaking stories, new drops, exclusive interviews, spotlight artists shaping the sound right now, and our African star of the week taking over timelines. Then it's straight to the top 10, the songs running the streets, owning your playlist and living rent-free in your head. No skips, just heats, pure vibes. This is the Rundown, your ultimate destination for everything entertainment.
Welcome back. You're still watching ABC in the morning live here on ABC News GH. Following the floods that occurred on Monday, the very devastating floods claiming lives, leaving 1,000 and more displaced. The president has directed that some money be disbursed for flood relief and mitigation efforts. Or what really is this about? There's a statement from the presidency. I'll read it to you so that you make what you would make of it. This is dated Tuesday, June 30, 2026. President Mahama directs immediate disbursement of 300 million Ghana cedis flood Relief and Mitigation Funds. President John Dramani Mahama has directed the Minister for Finance to release 300 million Ghana cedis from the contingency fund to finance urgent flood relief and mitigation efforts. The directive forms part of government's response to the flooding of parts of Accra and other communities in the southern sector of the country after hours of unusually heavy rainfall. 150 million Ghana cedis out of the amount will finance urgent relief efforts for flood-affected persons and communities in the southern sector of the country. Another 150 million Ghana cedis will be spent on flood mitigation measures aimed at reducing incidents of flooding. The President has also directed the deployment of personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces and Police to work with NADMO and other security services in the rescue and relief operations currently underway across the city. The President earlier today undertook an aerial tour of the flooded areas to assess the full extent of the situation and announce a raft of steps being taken to safeguard residents and prevent further flooding. And it is signed Felix Kwachi-Fosu, spokesperson to the President and Minister Government Communications. And so President has directed 300 million Ghana cedis fund. This is for flood relief and mitigation. Beyond that, what more? Beyond that, what more? Are we at the mitigation step? I also believe that we are way past mitigation. We should be looking at something higher and stronger than mitigation. But this is the amounts that President Mahama has set aside. Look at the monies we spend because of flooding. If we had a well-planned city, we're not building in waterways, we're not building in Ramsar sites and wetlands, we were not cutting off drains, would we have to spend this amount of money? I don't think so. I don't think we would have to spend this amount of money at all. We can't decide to be a people that are law-abiding and will be very peaceful. It will rain and it would be like any other day. Wouldn't it be? Other parts of the country, it is raining and everything is fine. Not Accra. It's why I actually do agree that we are very reactionary. We react to issues rather than prevent them. If we did prevent them, we wouldn't have to fall on this tangent. We really have to prevent issues like these, so that when a one-time event occurs, we can apply the necessary urgency to it. This happens over and over again, and people are becoming apathetic towards it, and we cannot afford to be apathetic. We need our institutions to work. We have all of the beautiful laws on paper. How are they working? How are we enforcing them? We need to. Well, speaking on laws, let me take you to Parliament, where the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, has been addressing the House on the issues that occurred. Yesterday, most of the conversation in Parliament was about the flooding, the members had the opportunity to speak. They were all weighing in. But the Minister himself for the Interior has spoken. We'll go to Parliament, we'll listen to him, we'll listen to other members of the House, and then the minority also held a presser on the flooding and matters arising from the flooding. I want you to also pay attention to that. Let me take you to Parliament. I'll be back shortly.
To deal with, there's a fourth statement, and that is a statement by the chairman of the Finance Committee to report to this House the approval of a sum of 350 million Ghana cedis to deal with the consequences of the flood. So that's the fourth statement. So I was going to plead with you that instead of us commencing commentary on the statements, let's allow the chairman of the Finance Committee to read that statement, which is just a one-page statement. The committee met this morning, they deliberated on the matter, and I thought that they should report to this House. So that we can take that on board in our committee. that will come under a different constitutional imperative. So we cannot make it part of this. I think that will be for the purposes of information to the House. I think Article 177 is clear on the issue. So that one is a statement for the purposes of informing the House. It's not a statement to be commented upon. Yes? Yeah, Mr. Speaker. But the idea is that when members are commenting on the statement, they will be informed by this development, which is a very significant development, that this Parliament took urgent steps to approve the release of funds.
Now, a public health emergency in the making. Flooding of this scale carries a public health dimension that cannot be left unaddressed. And our respected colleague Nana Ayu Efriye raised this on the House floor. Stagnant flood water mixed with uncollected refuse and overflowing sanitation facilities create conditions for the rapid spread of communicable diseases, including cholera, typhoid, and other waterborne and vector-borne illnesses. The minority is therefore pressing for an urgent and substantive briefing to this House by the Minister for Health, setting out precisely what steps are being taken to monitor affected communities for early signs of disease outbreak, what emergency sanitation, clean water, and medical supplies are being deployed to flood-hit areas, and what surveillance and rapid response systems are in place should an outbreak occur. This briefing must happen without delay. The country cannot afford a public health crisis compounding a disaster that was itself avoidable.
In view of the fact that we have other two statements on a similar subject matter.
Mr. Speaker, just before we agree on the number, if the Minister can give us a copy of the statement he just read. Mr. Speaker, we had agreed that
members, the background noise is too much.
We had agreed that we will take two statements on the same subject matter. One from the chairman of the Works and Housing Committee, and then one from Water and Sanitation Committee, and the one from the former Minister for Works and Housing.
Yes. Speaker, with respect, the Minister came under Order 91 of the rules of this House. 93. Well, whichever rule you came under, the provisions are very clear. There must be prior approval from Speaker, which suggests that Speaker would have seen a copy of the statement and approve of state that it complies with don't worry, Mr. Speaker, I submit that there is no formal ministerial statement, because, Mr. Speaker, we are here, the leaders, 5 here, 5 here. At least members should have copies of this ministerial statement. Mr. Speaker, at a point, the minister delved into politics. He moved away from whatever formal statement and was now raising very controversial issues. So you should make available the copy of the statement which was approved by you. Let us have printed copies, or even soft copies should be put on the console, so that members who want to contribute will properly anchor their submissions. We don't want situations where you would come and say you didn't say this and somebody is misconstruing you. So make it available. Mr. Speaker, you have always been insisting on the rules, but if a cabinet minister decides to take the law into his own hands, Mr. Speaker, the entire House will be watching the pronouncement that will come out from the presiding officer. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we can excuse the minority leader for all the things that he has said, because he was late. He came into this chamber after we had commenced proceedings, and he came much after we had sought your permission in the absence of a formal written statement, given the exigencies of the times, for the minister to make a statement to the House. A statement need not be written. A statement need not be written. But in any case, the Speaker dispensed with those requirements and granted the minister the permission. And I expressly stated when making the application to the minister that the statement was not ready. I made that statement, but it wasn't ready. But the matter is so urgent that he should grant leave for the minister to make the statement. And he did grant leave for the minister to make statements. And the statement has been very rich, a lot of facts, details, dates, incidents that have occurred, the locations where the incidents have occurred, and the moment when the statement is made, every member is supposed to, in silence, listen. And having listened, you are deemed to have received copies of the statements, because you have heard every single sentence. You have heard every single sentence. You have become aware. You have become aware of the facts. The facts. Because the statement is about facts. And you have become aware of the facts. And so, having become aware of the facts, if the Speaker now gives us the opportunity to comment, you can comment on the basis of what you have heard. That is perfectly the practice in this House. So, Mr. Speaker, like I indicated, we had agreed that the two statements will be taken. The one by the chairman of Sanitation and Water, and then the former Minister for Works and Housing. So let's have those ones. After that, we can comment on the statements.
Honourable members, as a matter of fact, every parliament, leadership guides the person who is presiding, and issues are carried out by consensus. So when issues of this nature crop up and the leaders available reach some consensus based on which the act is taking place, I am personally worried to place on record that the whole world will be listening to the ruling that will come from Mr. Speaker. If the House has agreed to do an act, must I rule on that? So, Honourable Minority Leader, before you came, there was some consensus on both House. Honourable Anodonpre raised the issues that you have raised, but at the end of the day, there was an agreement that the minister be given the opportunity to make the statement, irrespective of the fact that the procedure has not been followed. He even indicated that as masters of our own rules, we could allow him to do so based on the exigency of the event. So this was what really happened. Yes?
With respect, I think my leader is on all fours right. The issue I raised are substantially different from what my leader is raising. I had raised issues on procedure, and Speaker, you had concluded that yes, we are masters of our own rules, and hence he could be allowed. My leader is raising a matter concerning where the leader has veered off, the minister has veered off into other matters, which will generate controversy and debate. So, Speaker, he is setting the stage, and we want fairness. So when we are contributing to the statement, and there are instances where we are referring to the instances he referred to, we should not be described as generating debate or controversies. That is the point, and that is the crux of the matter.
I have listened to the leader, and you've also listened to the leader. Leader is demanding a copy of the statement. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the statistics that we see from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, it clearly states that in the month of June, we normally accept a lot of rains. But what happened yesterday gave us 169.2 millimeters of water. And this is the fourth largest volume of water in a day since 1995. And for the month of June, we had a total in month of June of 593.2 millimeters of water. And Mr. Speaker, is the highest our country has ever received in its history in 1 month, 593.2. The closest was in 2002, and that was 420.6 millimeters. And the other one was 2015. 380.3 millimeters, and these statistics, Mr. Speaker, I'll make it available from our house, are the things that, so it clearly shows that, yes, the human activities, pouring, refuse into our drain, building on the waterways, all contributed, but naturally, it clearly shows that even if we had everything right, the kind of rains that we received in June and yesterday will have necessarily created some overflow and created some problem for us.
With respect to you, we shouldn't overly simplify the matter. It was not just a demand of a copy of the statement.
Yes. So
he also raised a concern, Speaker. He also raised a concern that the honourable member, the minister, veered off and said other things. In fact, we took copious notes of what the things he said. So when we are making references and we are contributing and we make these references, yes, we hope that we will not be described as and being offensive of the rules.
By our rules, where you feel the minister veered off, you can draw my attention. I will ask leader to withdraw or order that.
Well, so we'll take you back to Parliament during some time so we can listen to the Minister for the Interior, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed, who spoke on the flooding situation. The minority also says that the 7-member task force that the president put together, the anti-flood task force, must be dissolved. Is it the right way to go? We'll see. But at this point, let's have a conversation with Engineer Abdullahi Mahama. He is a civil engineer on the issue of flooding that we are experiencing in the country at this time. Good morning, Engineer Mahama. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good morning. Pleasure.
First off, President Mahama has directed a disbursement of 300 million Ghana cedis for relief and also mitigation. Where should we be direct? President Mahama has directed. He has disbursed some. He has directed the Minister of Finance to disburse 300 million Ghana cedi for flood relief and mitigation efforts.
Okay.
Yes. First off, from your standpoint as an engineer, looking at our structural issues in the country at this point, how should this money be looked at or allocated?
Right. So I'll say good morning to your cherished listeners and viewers. I think when you look at the amount of money that the president has directed to release from the Ministry of Finance, it's just like emergency relief. That amount of money wouldn't be sufficient, adequate for anything, but at least in the interim, because people are displaced, 38,800 plus number of people who cannot find shelter. I think some of these monies would be proportionately apportioned for such emergencies. Aside that, I think the mitigation measures will need more than 4 billion plus to be able to handle such things. Even the use of the drip machines after areas have been identified for proper demolitions and removal of the debris and all those contributing factors that are leading to the floods. This is not going to be sufficient, but I think the start, and so we would have to make sure that those who are going to handle the finance are going to judiciously and proportionately allocate it for the right purpose for which the president has released such an amount of money.
All right. Well, we'll look at the funds needed that would be sufficient to deal with the situation. But the flooding situation in the country, I mean, the regular Ghanaian would say that we have built haphazardly. That is what has caused that. From your standpoint as a civil engineer, what would be your reading into the causes of what we are seeing?
Well, so I started this advocacy somewhere in 2014. So that's about 12 years now. So obviously you know that I will be getting to my wit end in terms of I'm a bit stressed, overwhelmed with repetitive discussions, just that I always add some additional information due to the nature of how the floods are being experienced. If you just go to some of the hundreds that have done, especially sister stations across the time, I've enumerated a lot of this, and the pain is that having seen that a lot of buildings started on the mountainous areas. If you go to, I think some of this, I don't, because if you go to most of the stations where I've made this advocacy so well before, long ago, and in the morning shows and other things, where I started complaining that we are overlooking a construction of houses on the Ayimensa enclave. And that was from 2014, when it took a very dramatic turn, where the buildings just started springing up along the whole catchment area. And because I was part of the engineers who constructed the Pantai Oyarefa Ayimensa to the bridge to Mountfree Road, we understood, or I understand or anticipate the kind of problems that we were creating for ourselves. But if you get to the top and you see the buildings sitting up at the set escarpment, you would notice that the same people who are supposed to be our guardians, who are supposed to be policy implementers or makers, are the same persons who have created the mess at the top of the mountains. We know, like the president said, is some of the provision that they pick from us to make some of these presentations. The southern area of Accra proper is largely a low-lying area. Let's say more than 80% of Accra is a low-lying area. But what it means is that if you are able to identify that these are low-lying areas, but you put in measures to avoid completely the wetlands, the receptor areas, the floods will definitely come, but it will be properly controlled. And to it, at this time, I don't think there's any way that the flood can be controlled. We have to admit that per the record that the Metro gave last 2 days ago, and this is the 167 millimeters of levels of the water since 1995. That is almost like 31 years, right? And so you can understand that if it is the highest in 1995, and let's say Accra has developed by more than 80% of infrastructure, and put that disregard to the, what do you call it, the wetlands, then your guess is as good as mine. Because if in 1995 a similar runoff gave us that millimeters, yet it was not to this level. And we have gone ahead and expanded the capital, which is because of population growth. So you can't say anything about that. But if the population growth has necessitated the expansion of our buildings and other facilities like roads, yet at the same time, we are overlooking the sanctity of the wetlands and allowing people to continue to put up buildings. And then my sister, we are not going anywhere from where we are now. I'm not too sure that whatever happens, we will have a solution by next year. If government have to plan on getting these floods drastically mitigated or minimized, there should be a conscious, maybe 4 or 5 years plan to be able to keep on. Now in this case, the only I'm giving that length of time is that the government has to now look for funds, because some of the buildings which have been cited in suspected areas, even though I know that the wetlands may not have proper documentation, others are legally acquired permits. And so if those people have acquired permit legally from the same officials who are supposed to know better, 2 things must be done. The first one has to be government has to now look for money and then compensate such persons before demolitions are carried out. Because the legal, I can see that the costs are going to be passing because of legal challenges. The second one has to be that the crime has no boundary or what you call it, years that it doesn't elapse. You can find out from the assemblies, some of them may be on pension, whatever it is, how many people were those involved in issuing permit. And let me be clear here, permits are not signed by the district engineer. The permits, there's a whole committee. The physical committee will bring it to the technical committee at a setting. And these meetings are always chaired by the NCE or the DCE. In their absence, the district coordinating director or the municipal coordinator sits to chair the program. And we have the physical planning officer, we have the development officer, we have the works head, we have NADMO, the same NADMO we are talking about. We have them part of the committee, we have the fire service, and all those companies who come together before issuing a permit. When they consent to the approval, then those who are mandated by law at the assembly to be the signatories turn their signatures for the building or the permit to be issued to the developers to go and undertake their construction. So it's not like the engineers, no, it's a whole committee.
Well, so, Engineer Mahama, just to keep you there a bit, you're telling us that every single time a developer would be given a permit, this number of people constitute to deliberate before a decision is taken.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
This is quite heartbreaking to hear.
It's emphatic. It is in the Land Use and Special Planning Act at 2016 at 925. We have it in the National Building Regulation LI 2265. And then we have it in the Local Government Act at 936. These are spelled out. The committee who sit down to vet. Because let me give you a process. Before, let me say I am putting up a structure, you are putting up a structure. When you express a desire to put up a building, you get to the assembly, and then you give them your document, the architectural drawing, your structural drawing, your MEP, and then your site plan, all those. And then now there's a directive, I think about the past 4 years, that you need to add the response from the survey department that shows that the land belongs to you or the land doesn't have any issue. That's another requirement. Now, when these documents are submitted to the assembly, the physical planning officers are the first to go and look at whether you fall within the zoning status. When you fall within the zoning status, then you are checked that, okay, this is satisfied. Then the development, the works head will look at the document, the building document, and see whether your drawings, your structural analysis are all conforming. Then it will be sent, packaged and sent to the committee. But after they have already done the inspection on your site, and when these are sent to the committee members sit down on it with the information that has been addressed to them or submitted to them. So I'll give the committee again. There's a chief executive officer, we have the coordinating director, we have the physical planning officer, we have the works head, we have the NADMO fire service, and even two members are accepted by the assemblymen and women within the jurisdiction or within the district. 2 members are selected to be part of the committee. In the event where the assembly cannot vet the particular structure because it goes beyond the capacities of the district works head, the law allows that you co-opt. The word is to co-opt a technocrat, an engineer or a structural engineer or the specialty you are looking for to come and vet the document and then give you a rule to follow. So based on the report, you surcharge the developer and then the permits are issued based on the compliance basis. And that I'm kind of intrigued that if we are supposed to go through all this, NADO officers, fire service, and all those people who are mandated by law do this, we shouldn't be getting where we are. And before that, there's one other thing. We have seen a lot of buildings, especially the very huge facilities like the malls and things. They sometimes, for the information that are available to me, it goes beyond the district assembly. It takes a national interest. It takes some powers above. Let me ask this question rhetorically. There's this Tema community, Tema Newtown area where we have the refinery. The refinery is sitting in the belly of the wetland. Are you saying that the refinery is not a national approval? So we are sitting down and we are acting as if we are not abreast with the information. We don't know what is happening. We are being like hostages because that facility, the refinery sitting in the belly of the wetland, couldn't be just from the assembly. This is a national interest.
This is
I am getting suffocated and very stressed with these challenges that are befalling Ghanaians all the time.
This is quite stressful and disheartening to hear, especially as if all of these duty bearers would have to convene and decide to issue a permit. We go through this situation. It has also become that it is the citizens that are blamed for all that we are seeing. Citizens are building in waterways. Citizens are doing this and that. And so it looks like the apportioning of the blame, we are finding a convenient host to host it.
I admit that, and I've stated it, that in the last 3 weeks, I was on Channel 1 in the morning, and the big news, or the big issue, and I raised it that there is a portion which is indiscipline on the part of Ghanaians, especially with people who deliberately discharge their refuse into our waterways, our drainages. That one, if no camera is caught or catches the person doing that, obviously it will go unrecorded. And these are things that you and I know people do, and we have seen videos except of this. And those are the indiscipline aspect. But the law, when it comes to infrastructure, whoever is in discipline, the law still gives the assembly the power to demolish the structure right from the onset. That is the clause 1, that the regulation 121 of the LASPA, which gives the assembly the power to demolish. Now let me ask you this: if the regional minister, the former regional minister, Titus Glover, was heard on Adon FM just about 3 weeks ago, and I watched it. So I'm quoting, Eyewitness News, and he was lamenting that in his 1 year of being the MC, the regional minister, on his way from the N1 to Malam Junction, as he was turning towards the Kaneshi Road, he saw that the mangrove on the right-hand side is being filled. He made an inquiry, and there was a Chinese developer who was taking almost more than some acres, failing to put up structures. Those structures are sitting in the mangrove now. Now the connector between the Honorable Assesu Boache's complaints yesterday in Parliament that is sitting down. The two parties or the two successive government would have to hold themselves and be accountable to Ghanaians. When you were in government at the time that you were the Minister for Works and Housing, at that time there were those buildings springing up like mushrooms in the mangrove. So if you are doing storm drains, which you are supposed to go and discharge the water through the mangrove as a transition to the sea, and yet there was a developer putting up huge mansions and warehouses in the mangrove area. What did you take as a minister? What did you do as a minister? And now, if this government is in, what are they also doing as a new government? I am quite sure that we may not have proper documents for anybody putting up a building in the mangrove. So the president's call that everybody will be dealt with. I am praying that it happens like that. It can't be like the whole year government will dedicate it for demolition of houses. Any building sitting in the waterway which doesn't even have a document shouldn't take up to a month to be brought down. And that is where government has to champion the attention and get some of these things. Otherwise, like I've been saying recently, we need to be very ruthless to get solutions. Otherwise, you will call me next year, God willing, and then we'll have the same discussion.
Well, it's very depressing, especially for those who have been affected by this situation. The minister tells us that over 32,000 people have been displaced. Their lives that have been lost are lives that matter to their families, and it's quite heartbreaking that we are experiencing this. It's been 2 days since the flood. Ghana Meteorological Agency tells us that we should expect that the rains will come again. And so during this period, what should we do? Because if the same structures are still there, the same situation is persistent, it means that if we see another rain of such intensity, we would experience the same devastating effect, if not more. And so from your angle as an engineer, what should we do? Should we start the demolitions now?
I've seen some of the demolitions started at the East Assembly, that is Abokobi area, and that is one of the areas that I have championed or have advocated for almost 3-4 years. So it was a relief for me last 2 weeks when I saw the team demolishing a lot of houses in the basin. And the second thing is that if you, after your program, or you can let your producers just check Engineer Abdullah Mahama, either on Facebook or at TikTok, just check and see the sustained details that are available on my platform. If government want to even do some of those things in Accra, they don't have to go back and start any task force committee. We'll just get some of the links and share, and see, not about sharing, and then see what has been detailed for the past like 12 years. That is how I get a bit suffocated when I get this. I see this thing repeating every year, and yet before the next year, trust me, you see some buildings sitting at a question mark area where there's not supposed to be. How come the lakeside started flooding? And I used a scenario. Please, let's do this for ourselves. On my last submission on TV, I think was it 3-4 days ago, I said anybody who is in an area that suspects that a building or an area has been filled, the wetland has been filled, but the person doesn't have any details, but you can identify that the surrounding looks wet or there's a suspicion of this mangrove or whatever, just take a look at Google, just take a WhatsApp current location, right? If you can share with you, or I just say that you share with me, and I'll be able to give them a data of how the place used to look like 10 years back, 15 years back, 5 years back, maybe 4 years back, or even last year, so that we'll see whether whatever we are championing by you interviewing me is being adhered to. I will to give these details out to yourself in the studio, and then because you are a media house, you can just be displaying this on air or your portal, and then at least just ascribe it to me, so that you can just exclude yourself for any potential whatever you think you might be.
Well, like you said, we keep coming back to this conversation over and over and over again. It's been years of the same thing. We regurgitate, we go through it all. And one question that reigns is it that our leaders do not care about us? And so it will be the breadcrumbing after the disaster. And then when the sun comes out and the land dries up, we forget what happens.
I think we are not holding them accountable, and I think the citizen will also go to sleep after the floods states. Because if we imagine, or you have the way I become a bit worried, even when I'm in the dry season, if we are all in that same boat. Because I don't discuss only flooding in the dry season. As I said, that there's a lot of information. If I drive through a new location, let's say an area I'm not so conversant with, and I see those things, I sometimes take my time, then assess the situation before I leave the community. So I have those details every now and then. Is that how a lot of Ghanaians may be thinking in terms of seeing that your area, somebody is filling a wetland? Have you noticed one thing? We allow these people to do the filling. They put up a filling station, they put up a warehouse, and then the next 2-3 years, this area flood. Today, I was going to say something. I'll say it first on your studio. When it comes to a filling station construction, I think the NPA is also culpable, because the assembly cannot give permits until the National Petroleum Authority consent to the location as well. The developer will write a letter to the assembly to ask about the zoning status of that particular area. The assembly will now ask him to say no objection. When the assembly says there's no objection, the NPA also come in with the engineers to also make sure that the person gets the location, have to know whether the place falls within a wetland area, because they are dealing with fuel. And if they also consent to the place, and yet we see a lot of question mark filling stations sitting an area where they are not supposed to be, then it's a whole chain of total disregard to the built environment. So that's just where I want to do this discussion.
Well, it means that we would need a total overhaul of some institutions if these, with regards to how these actions are persisting.
Yeah, it's so shameful. It's so shameful.
Well, there have been calls that the president's task force, anti-flood task force that he set up sometime in March 2025 be dissolved. Do you agree with those calls?
Maybe they should they have to be empowered. If they, I've not seen any clear-cut information or the let me say information that has come out from the National Task Force. But I'm sure that it may not need to be dissolved if there are some very brilliant individuals or professionals on it. I am sure they may have to beef up the number or get some additional professionals added, and then find out what has been the challenge that they've also been facing. For all you know, just like how NADMO is facing some of these financial challenges, they may also be having some of these funds. But I don't know the clear-cut directives that they were given before it was constituted. What were they supposed to do? Were they supposed to report to the government? Were they supposed to engage the assemblies? I have not taken my time to read the mandate that government gave when that committee was constituted. So I may have to look at it. But I've not heard them do anything quite significant in that.
Well, it's quite worrying. I mean, when the president sets them up, they were supposed to assess the situation. It is why their famous first assessment in the helicopter all across Accra, Wager, and all made the noise. And so for many, after the helicopter ride, we've not heard anything, no dredging has been done, and the situation even looks worse than it was at first. And so it looks like no work has been done. And so why are you still together as a committee?
Well, so that is where the citizens would have to let their voice be heard. Whatever thing is taken which would support the mitigation of this flood, everybody we are all for it. But as I mean, to say in explicit terms, they have to be dissolved. I'm sure that they should be given the hearing to see whatever they have done. Or it is still administrative work that has been carried out. And once they did their helicopter overview, they may have been writing to the various assemblies who are mandated, who have been given the law to effect or to carry out such drastic decisions that will be arrived at committee level.
Okay, so we understand that they were to ensure that this flood situation does not occur again. So the anti-flooding task force, where they said that they were going to announce stricter measures that would be implemented to curb flooding. At least that one measure or that one work that they were to do has not been done. We've not seen the stricter measures. We've not seen the curbing of flooding. And so would we say they have failed?
They have to still work through the local assemblies. This is a committee.
Right.
And there is not backed by a law. I'm sure they are supposed to, if they have made those pronouncements, I think there's a legal member, there's a member who's a lawyer on that committee. I think I'll just read the constitution. Those who constitute the committee. And once they know that they cannot just go directly to the grounds and start to effect demolition and things, they may have to work through the assemblies that by law they are supposed to carry out those demolition and the NADMO. I'm sure they should have made their pronouncement very clear, for unambiguous, for it to be very clear to every Ghanaian. But for them to specifically undertake those things, they are even small. Committee, then we need thousands of those members before they can carry out the challenge we have in Accra proper. It's quite a daunting task.
Well, before I let you go, our Ministry for Local Government, we talk about MMDCs, we talk about assemblies, they all are at local government level. Have we strengthened that aspect of our governance?
Yeah, but you see, once those people are able to give permits, they should be able to work. But so when you get to issuance of permit in the hinterland, let's say if the assembly is located at 37 Military Hospital, and then somebody is coming to develop at Labadi, and not in Accra proper. I'm talking about, let's say, some area where you have difficulty in accessing those locations. They're able to do that and issue the permit. How come that when people are putting up buildings in the same areas without permit, you're unable to carry out your work? So it's like a chicken chain. You have in one breath, you have a financial challenge. In the other breath, you can go and issue a permit for the person to put up a structure there. I think we have to be very. I've seen some of the engineers and some of the local assemblies taking applicant to court and being fined at the court, and some deterrent. I've seen some of this happening in some of the assemblies that I'm very close to in terms of the personnel who are working there, and that is something that we have to encourage. I think if every local assembly has a legal person who advises, I don't know whether they have such things, but who advises about how their work department can be suing individuals every now and then when they are putting up structures, and then the court will also be very proactive in dealing with such persons without fear of favor.
Engineer Mahama, we're most grateful for your time today.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Engineer Abdullahi Mahama is a civil engineer sharing his thoughts, his insights into the situation we find ourselves in. The permit is an issue that I'd keep raise. Permits, who's giving the permits, allowing their buildings to spring up, because buildings are very conspicuous. They are in your face. They are not something that you can do under the cover of darkness. Everybody will see if a building is springing up. We're giving the permits, and then the situation arises and we are back to square one. Are we ready to decide that we will save our nation, we will save the capital, we will save our land, we will save our lives as a people? Is one thing that we should pay particular attention to. This is sad. The lives that have been lost are lives, too many lives that have been lost. We'll also turn our attention to the very local level of this situation and go to the Okeseko electoral area, where the assemblyman is Honorable Saint Kabu. There's a situation with flooding. Let's speak with him for people who live in the Teshi area or enclave. Good morning, Honorable Kabu. Thank you for your time. Okay, we will establish contact with Honorable Kabu and understand what is happening also in the Teshi area. You know that Teshi, Rasta, Chado, and other areas are part of the areas that have been severely affected by the flood. If you are very familiar with the Lateshi Road, you know that just behind Trade Fair or even by Trade Fair, there's a lake there called the African Lake. What has happened to it? And why is it causing this devastation? Honorable Saint Kabu joins us. Good morning, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to your cherished listeners.
Thank you. What's happening in Teshi?
Yes, we've been having flood.
Oh.
But this one is just unbearable. This one is very serious. And for the first time, I could tell you, people's ceiling fan are even spoiled. So you could see how high the water was in people's room.
What, I mean, you are the assemblyman for the area, and so you are familiar with the area. What is the cause of the situation there?
Good. What we have been doing as assembly is to dredge the lagoons. We have the Kojo and then the Naplajo. These are two major streams that takes its source from Ebri. It goes as if through Manette and then some through Papaya, Spintex area. It all comes down through here to the basin. So there are times when it even rains heavily around the Buri, Medina, Nanakum area, and these places still get flooded. So what the problem is now, which we know is the Peshi Lagoon is highly silted. There's a lot of sand in it. And then the mangroves too have been encroached on heavily. So previously when it rains, some parts that has been filled and they are reclaimed and used as land around the Chado area, the Bush Road area, and then down the Laboma area has all been encroached on. And the little that is left there's a lot of sand in the stream or the lagoon. So now what we are expecting government to help us do, because when you look at the problem, it is beyond the assembly's capacity or capabilities. Central government must come in. And currently, yesterday, we heard that the president had devoted some 300 million Ghana cedis for flood. And we are only praying that the Peshi Lagoon and then the Sango Lagoon will be considered for dredging at least for the first time.
Okay. How many families have been affected by this flooding situation in the area?
How
many families?
Families? It's more than thousands. More with thousands of people. Actually, anybody living around the Bush Road, down from, if you are familiar with the area, from Palace Mall down through to Core Bridge, through to Tebibiano, Telephone Pole, Chado, Bush Road, everybody was affected. Everybody was affected.
Okay. And what urgent needs are there at this point? You mentioned that the flooding is hitting the roof, the people's ceilings fans, and so this is quite devastating. What are the urgent needs?
Their urgent needs are reliefs. As it stands now, the rain is still raining, and most of their things, their belongings, their mattresses, their cooking utensils, everything, some has been washed away, and then what is even left cannot be used now. And because of the rain, you can't use your gas or because of the flooding. All those things are not so safe. Yes, so now relief items, at least if food items like already cooked food, that will be given to them even once a day, will go a long way to help. And also mattresses, and then we move them currently to a safe grounds. We look for a church or places like open space. We accommodate them for a while. It will hold. As it stands now, it's still raining. As I'm talking to you, it is raining. And people are still in the flood rooms and stuff. They don't have any option. Those who can afford have moved to hotels and then other guest houses around, and they are even full. So now, even if people want to move to guest houses and then hotels, you will not even get a place to lodge. So we currently need reliefs, and then places people can just put up for the time being, at least a month or two. When the rain subsides, then they can come back to salvage or clean up and then be in their rooms.
But what reliefs have your office been able to give them? What has been your response to the situation, sir?
Yes, what we have been doing now is, with the help of NADMO, we are drawing water from the rooms. We are cutting, when you go to some of the bridges, logs have blocked the openings of these bridges. So the logs, anytime it rains again and then carry something like this rubbish, it will just block and then the place overflows. So our major consideration now is to open up all the drains so that the water can flow freely to prevent any further flooding.
The areas you mentioned are some wetland areas. Earlier you said that people have filled some of the water bodies there. But who is giving the permit for these buildings to spring up?
Yes, most of these properties you see do not have proper permits. Most of them do not have permits. But sometimes they contact one or two people from the assembly for consent, and then before you see, they start putting up buildings. So some places have been rezoned, but others are still wetland areas or areas that is not habitable for human beings. But still people are feeling and then getting themselves in this problem.
Two concerns I have. One, the rezoning and people building without permit. We'll come to the rezoning soon. Building without permit, the assembly is there. We see buildings spring up. These are buildings that everybody can see. So what are the measures the assembly also puts in place to ensure that the construction halts or stops, so that if you have to go to court, get a permit to break down these buildings, to demolish them, it happens? Because one too many times we hear the conversation, no permits, but they are building. Some even have permits and they are building. What is the role of the assembly in this situation?
Yes, just to stay not too far. It's been, like you said, it's been a very long time we've been discussing these issues of people not having permits. But just some few months ago, massive demolition was carried out by the NADMO to ensure some places are left and then dredged so that it can collect this water or the rainwater that comes. But they were still in the process of demolition, and as usual, the places they marked to continue or to finish up with the demolition, they didn't finish, and then they left. We tried asking why they halted the demolition, but no proper answer was given. And I'm just trying to believe that it is the usual order from above.
Order from above. Who is this above? Because we hear from government level that we are the cause, that the citizens are the cause of the situation we are experiencing. We are building in waterways, we are not upholding sanitation laws and all. The next moment, order from above has caused this. And so where are we finding the leg to stand on? You are in Lekma, but the situation occurring lies between Lekma and Ladma. So how do you come together as two municipal assemblies to ensure that this does not happen? It brings me to my question on the rezoning. We've seen letters.
Before I could tell you that we were having boundary issues.
Okay.
This the same area we are talking about is used to be a disputed boundary problem between Ladma and Lekma. But the two assemblies have agreed that because we are fighting on these boundaries, people are taking advantage of the two assemblies fighting over boundaries to do the wrong thing. So now we have agreed that both assemblies can step in to solve some of these problems. You don't need like just the two heads that the MCs do communicate I'm coming or I'm sending my troops here to go check or go and control this kind of development. So now I think that synergy is there. We are coordinating to ensure that some of these problems are being checked. But some of the issues like dredging or protecting the places we have already cordoned off or demolished is also a challenge. Because after demolition, you need to collect the debris and dredge. And the budget is way beyond the assembly.
If it is way beyond the assembly, don't you escalate it to the Ministry of Local Government?
Yes, just some few months ago, we did the follow-ups to the ministry as far as the presidency. And then we were assured that the Peshi Lagoon will be dredged. But as at now, the rains are already here. It has not been dredged. So we will keep following up. But we will just plead and use this medium. So at least you can also help us drum it down to the presidency and to all the people involved to look at this Peshi Lagoon. When you go to hydrological service, they have in their plans that this year they are dredging the Peshi Lagoon. But as it stands, they said their budget have not been approved. So we are doing everything possible to get this Peshi Lagoon dredged because we believe that is one of the problems, the main problem that is causing the flood. But water from all over ends up in the Peshi Lagoon and then into the sea.
I have a lot of concerns with regards to the area, the Teshi La Enclave, with the situation happening within the area. You talk about rezoning. I've come across a document about rezoning some parts of Chado for development. And obviously, when you look at the topography of the area, you can see that this is obviously, and it is clear to anyone that it is a wetland. It is a land that should not be able to accommodate buildings. And when we have our local assemblies there and we are allowing these rezoning to happen, is it that we do not care? Local assembly does not care about the safety, the lives of the people who live within your enclave?
It is not purely like they are saying. But we all believe that rains do come, flooding do come at certain places all over the world. People are living on water and stuff. But it is the architecture and then the planning that goes in that help to reduce the impact of the flooding. So based on some of this exposure, the assemblies believe if proper drains are constructed and then the kind of buildings are a little bit higher and all that, it can also serve as a habitable place. But that notwithstanding, there are two issues involved. There's one particular place that used to be a military training ground. Those are the places that we are rezoning, but not the mangrove or the wetland. The wetlands have not been touched. But rather we have pegged or marked the wetland area, the map we have, that people are not so anybody within the wetland do not have permits and have not been approved to be there.
All right. Well, now that you are calling on NADMO and other relevant stakeholders to help with the situation that your people are going through, do we expect that the calls you have made to the Ministry of Local Government and even to the presidency, as you have said, you will be intensified to ensure that they listen, especially as 300 million Ghana cedis has been earmarked for flood relief?
Yes, that is all we would have to be doing now. That is currently the solution. The best we would wish for is after dredging the basin, the streams will be lined just like the Odona. You can see that they've done the concrete walls to guide the water through to the Odo River. So we would plead that after the dredging, then the walls will be constructed, and then at least a clear boundary will be left from where people should settle and then where people not to settle, so that at least we can all save ourselves from this flooding issues every year. It's like every year it happens. Every year, this is what happens within this area.
Before I let you go, earlier you said that some people who are able to afford have moved into hotels, guest houses, and gone to even family who can accommodate them. That those who may not be able to afford, what is the assembly doing? Have you set up some temporary shelters where they can come and seek shelter during this very dire period?
Yes, this morning we spoke with Teshika Methodist Presby. It is a church within the barracks which is very safe. So we are still in talks with them to see if they can accept the people. And also we are working closely with the CEO of 48 Engineers, so that at least if we can put up some tents, temporary accommodation at some safer places, so that at least we can accommodate the people. So we are still working on that to ensure that at least we move the people from the unsafe areas to a safer place.
Well, Honorable Kabu, we are most grateful for your time. We know that it's been a trying situation for you at this point, being with your people and ensuring their safety. We thank you for joining us, and we send our heart to them. We pray that they are able to recover from their losses.
Okay, thank you very much, and we will ensure they are aware of your, and I'm sure most of them too will be watching on their phones, and because there's no TV, there's no radio for them to listen, but at least some of them have been able to salvage their phones and then they are using. So I'm sure they will see it on WhatsApp or TikTok and all that. But we'll let them also hear. Thank you so much for the concern, and then we pray that you help us intensify the campaign to dredge the Ekpeshi Lagoon and also help us solve the problem.
Thank you so much, sir. Honorable Saints Kabu is the assembly member for the Okiseko electoral area in the Lejekuku Municipal Assembly, Lekma. The situation that we are all facing, flooding because of rains, because our drains are blocked, people have built in waterways. We are faced with a very humongous situation, a mountain that we need to level quickly, because the rains are not letting up. They're still coming in. If we don't deal with the situation, it may overcome us real quickly. And so a very decisive action must be taken. I'll be opening the phone line so you can call me and share your thoughts with me on the situation that is occurring. How is the situation looking at your area? When it's time, I will let you know when the lines are open. But you can call on 024-725-7224, 024-725-7224. With the rains that have come, the flooding situation, one issue that has become a public concern is a health issue. And it is about cholera and all other associated diseases that come with unsanitary situation. Already the Ghana Health Service, the Ministry of Health are raising concerns about cholera if it happens because of the situation. When I saw the flag moving products from the warehouse that people were looting those products, my first concern was typhoid. Especially when I heard that people said, well, you're going to sell them and make money. I got scared because typhoid is deadly. Cholera is deadly. Water is entering into people. Some people are wading through the water, drinking the water, because if you're swimming, it's obviously you are ingesting it. It is a big issue. Flooding is a big issue that really faces us. And so, well, the Ministry of Health has also put together some steps to respond to flood-related health crisis. Let me read their statement for you, and then we'll take a break and bring you some conversation. Well, this is by the Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health steps up response to flood-related public health risk. Following the recent floods that affected parts of Accra, the Minister for Health, Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando, has undertaken field assessment in the affected areas, including Circle VIP, New Plant Station, and Achimota Aloboshi community, to evaluate conditions on the ground, facilitate the rapid deployment of appropriate interventions, and intensify measures to prevent the outbreak of diseases. The Minister has directed the Ghana Health Service to to intensify disease surveillance, scale up risk communication, and strengthen community level interventions in all affected districts. Health workers have also been urged to deepen public education on preventive practices and support from the media, traditional and religious authorities, and educational institutions. A coordinated engagement has also been convened involving the Ghana Health Service, the Ambulance Service, faith-based service delivery agencies, National Health Insurance Authority, and the Ministry of Local Government to address critical water, sanitation, and hygiene concerns arising from the floods. The ministry further calls on all metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies to collaborate closely with health authorities to enforce environmental sanitation measures and reduce public health risks. Food vendors are required to comply strictly with food hygiene standards. The public is advised to clear drains, remove stagnant water, and maintain clean surroundings. Residents are also urged to exercise caution as flooding may displace reptiles and other harmful animals into communities. The ministry assures the public that the situation is under control and that all necessary measures are being taken to safeguard public health. The ministry also remains committed to ensuring service delivery is sustained. All Ghanaians are encouraged to practice good hygiene, drink safe water, wash hands regularly with soap and water, eat well-cooked food, and promptly report symptoms of illness to the nearest health facility. The public is further advised to rely only on verified information from official sources. And it is signed Tony Goodman, the spokesperson of the Ministry of Health. Please, I would also encourage us to maintain good personal hygiene. Very important during this period. We go and walk through very filthy areas. We get home. Please do well to have a good bath. Wash your hands properly before you eat. Be mindful of where you're eating from. The people who picked up products that were washed by the flood and are planning on selling them or eating them with your families, please, that little money is not worth your life. That little money is not worth the cholera. It is not worth typhoid. It is not worth any disease that you could catch because of contaminated food. Please and please again, let us keep our safety paramount, keep our health paramount, and be our brother's keeper, each other's keeper. Let's not sell contaminated food, contaminated products because of the monies we want to make during this period. Please and please again. And so this is by the Ghana Health Service, the Ministry of Health, telling us what to do. Well, at this point, I've been informed that it is raining, which we expected. The Ghana Meteorological Agency has been reminding us, they've been giving us updates on the weather and the rains that would be occurring. 2 hours ago, Ghana Meteorological Agency gave us an update. I'll read that for you, but you can call me 024-7257-224, 024-7257-224. Call me and let me know what it's looking like in your area. We've been told that if you're in a low-lying area, move to a high-lying area. If you are home and it is safe, please stay at home and do not move if you don't have to move. Wherever you are, if it is a safe area, please do well to stay there. We also understand how that situation looks like when we tell you that if you stay home, it's better to be home. Sometimes home is even the most dangerous area because it is flooding. And so please, if you can find shelter with someone you can trust, please do well and find shelter. We need you well, we need you safe, we need you alive. But let's hear you. Call 024-725-7224, 024-725-7224. Some 3 hours ago, the Ghana Meteorological Agency gave us the morning forecast where they said that mist and fog patches are expected over coastal forests and mountain areas this morning. They said it will be mostly cloudy, and this is what we expect. Coastal areas, mist or fog to start the morning with some patches seeing slight to moderate rain. I believe it is the slight to moderate rain we experience at this point. Southern Ghana, mostly cloudy with breaks of sunshine as the morning goes on, and in northern Ghana, mostly sunny weather with occasional cloud cover. And at the sea, it will be rough. Be careful if you are fishing or traveling by boat. And this is, well, Emmanuel from Bush Road is on the line. Good morning, Emmanuel. How are you?
I'm fine. And you too?
I'm fine, Emmanuel. Have you been affected by the flood?
Very, 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 very serious.
Emmanuel, we are sorry about that.
And as you are asking honorable questions, I hope he was saying something about people are building without permits and due to one or two reasons, or some people from their aid that they know something about it. How can honorable or an assembly, someone come from your own aid? And they will say, you see, when you come to Bush Road, some building are built at the main of the gutter. Even the day the thing happened, before they came and demolished some of the building from the gutter, they use the gutter, the wall of the gutter, and they put iron rod on the gutter, then they are building their houses. And these assemblies have been passing, taking money from the people every time. We are all here. And you see our leaders,
Emmanuel.
Yes. Penny phone na ye for be as penny phone with moi. Ye for be as penny phone ma with mo. Omu di ewu penny phone ma we mu di ewu. Sa sika ya omu si o man penny ready say em fa mbebu ankrofo na so mu fan really got tesi. On better sika na di. The problem is still where we are. Ankrofo sidan etisi ha, etisi gata so. And before became one homobanum Kura, no Makojisika, no waiting. I mean, a witness for what I'm saying. Every day we are Babontia making me a from me, Cassassin. Yeah, your problem.
Now, Emmanuel, flood now, I can't we have an away near Quacotina.
Oh, you see, you're moving here, Mamma. Yeah, Mamma, dear. Ukwana utia manage na unya one place be a one konipa una brene say unyama ne be say na wu onkwa wo ade nyina nji unyama say na unya baby one space be kitwe oh me nyama de me fridge nyina me fridge na me nkonwa nyina say na me mattress am da so no so no fire tinu eja unya one yibi na eja o bedsheet bi I force about be anything ontumi o scan nkwa bi abeka say o de koda hotel
na Emmanuel ya be boamo ya te say nadmo abeba
obi ama ho nkrofo gu abontin ha o pa mi di phone be kwa abontin na onu omumu bi akasa obi ansi ha boot container ha obi ansi ha
oh because yane wo assembly member ne ne kasa ye
what na phone to send ntina ma mi de ho ya wo ne abufuo ntina ma bi afre no who ya ununtina ma media friend OBNC container Bush Road container OBNC ha anaduna de ni si ye no na sa dan na omudi iron rod na sisu na omu si dan na sisu no anaduna na soja fo ni bebubu sa dan ni free ho aka da one e wo wa close gata no da so si ho fancy designer shop we si dan kunta o si dan no amafo se dan be o si no e ye gata so se se wa close gata no e ti se nsuo no to na fi so ho no ba ICG aso dan ni we ni na push it at the core other lane no e rotate wo wa na fe na ye kokwasa fo no na apa ye so
na no we dia monka fra
obi ma ha
we ya monka fra wa kan dia ye be ma nadmo aso ate wo si mo ho na mo ne ye Teshi Bush Road gata container okay
e fa di ko rasta na ma fo da ho nyina from Bush Road container di ko rasta obi amu da ho nyina obi a wa ho yenye mu sesi as I'm telling you obi ani on mo ye ni pe bi obeti na ka so wo mo ji so mo store building any estate ho pe e no mo ye free kakra ye wa de obi ahu ntɔ no ye
we de bema nadmo aso ate wa kan de se nadmo akase wo mo boabo ani panti e bema mo aso ate president so say sikeya Oh, Emmanuel, abotre yete frustration ase and so yes say abotre ye bon pa se bibia eto betwa amamo
nyina ye nipa se yenye sika se bi ukoya ade wo se hu se ade na wo kwa akoye no wanya sika na ukoya ade na wo kwa akoye no wo se odi nyansa kakra to hu se si anad money ama before me nya kwala sa ba before me na ama ye tankas ko mu ko fie mu e ko be bola ye boaboa no gu ho be na ama for da ni police for e na gina ka kwa ho na direct cars e chichi cars e no maja bola ni niam ni ke be da na nsu yin fire
Emmanuel, that's the South Fair. That's Emmanuel from Teshi Bush Road Container, who's also been affected by the flooding. Let me hear from you. The number is on your screen: 024-725-7224, 024-725-7224. You call and let me know the situation in your area. Have you been affected by the flood? Do you know anyone who's been affected by the flood? Share your thoughts with me. President Mahama has directed 300 million Ghana cedi to deal with it. Entry from Ashaiman. Entry, good morning. Thank you for your time. Hello, Entry. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Entry. Thank you for calling. Share your thoughts with me.
Sakumono.
Okay. Entry, what's Sakumono? Nancy no cow. Entry patrol mauneso kakra ma me ne nyina ye ntumi ntie o.
Okay. I can say
Entry so wutie mi anka da ne ho kakra bi na line ntoso yie ne ye monkomo. Well, we'll try and establish better contact with Entry. Please call us back. Let's hear you. In the meantime, you too can call on 024-725-7224, 024-725-7224. Let us know the situation in your area. Have you been affected by the flood? Have there been any relief efforts in your area? Has NADMO been there? Has your assembly also stepped into the situation? Let us know what it's looking like in your area. Ebenezer from Tema. Ebenezer, good morning. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, good morning, my sister. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Ebenezer. How are you?
I'm also doing fine.
Great. Have you been affected by the flood?
Oh, by the grace of God, I'm safe here with my family.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's
Tema,
great to know.
We don't have the much problem here in Tema.
All right, Ebenezer. Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. And it's about this same flood. I thought last year there was a budget for this same flood about this job, President Mama committee involving the deputy chief of staff and about 2 or 3 people that they should tackle this flooding, and we have not heard anything. And I think last year our president went on air with the helicopter tour. And this year, the same thing, nothing has happened. And I think it's about time the president stop this kind of public show, because it's not solving any problem. And no wonder this time he has a public backlash, because you can't be playing politics with everything, because you play politics in opposition and you are in government, you are playing politics with it. And this morning I want to fault the media too. The media is not helping. The media, a section of the media are helping destroy the country. This time it's not about mentioning names, pinpointing to the government his wrongs. It's about all politicians are the same. Our politicians are not helping us. It's like generalizing this whole thing. It's so sickening. It's not helping. Point out to the government, this is your fault. This is what you should do to help the people, instead of generalizing this whole issue. But I'll spare your station. I've listened to you from the beginning to now. You are doing well. But just today that I've also heard a number of comments from you about politicians are the same and all that. I'm not faulting you. But please, you people should watch it. The way you are generalizing, since this government assumed power, they have not done anything, and people are not pinpointing. You people are not telling them they are wrong. But instead of generalizing, Could you believe that now people are still blaming Nanado for this president flooding? It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. It's not fair. Help, all of us help build this country. It's sort of, we know some of the media houses have been compromised. We know. It's something we know. Please, people should to help build this country. The way things are going and people are dying. I hear the number 30. It's more than that. I'm telling you. Ashama, you go to Ashama and some of these places. It's very, very serious. Let's tackle this thing nationally.
Okay.
Yeah, let's tackle this thing nationally instead of generalizing. Point out to the government. Yesterday, what the public showed the president did was very, very bad. Was very, very bad.
All right, Emmanuel.
You do this last year, and you are doing the same thing this year. Why? It's not nice.
All right, Emmanuel.
Okay, thank you.
Ebenezer, well, thank you, Ebenezer, for calling this morning and sharing your thoughts with us. That's Ebenezer from Tema, 0247257224, 0247257224. You call us and let us know the situation in your area. Have you been affected? Let us know. Government has disbursed 300 million Ghana cedis for relief and mitigation. Let us know. Let me hear from you. Well, I have Kelly from East Legon on the line. Thank you for calling, Kelly. Let's hear you.
Abena, good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Yeah, greetings to your listeners.
We are grateful that you called.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear your voice. I thought water Pele you go yesterday.
I'm fine, thank you, Kelly. I'm fine. Water did not carry me.
Yeah, I didn't want to say much, but I texted you. I believe you should check your text though.
Really? Well,
yeah.
They would let me know.
I've sent you a text message already on WhatsApp though.
Okay. All right, Kelly.
All right.
All right. Well, Kelly has sent a text, and my production team will give me the text, and then I'll read it for you. But you can also call and share your thoughts with me. 024-725-7224. 024-725-7224. Let me hear from you on all that is happening. The flood situation. Have you been affected in your area? You let me know. President Mahama has made some disbursements. Ilyasu is on the line. Hello, Ilyasu.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ilyasu. Yetio. Nyame adom ye hoye. Sa oso hoye.
Nyame adom.
Ye de nyame ase.
Wo se evia oku bobo dan ya. Ebe ka ba be presa ko. Wo se institute to ye fa ye quality. Me na President Mama, Emsted 2024. Elkoni, you know, has institute na na no political no mo be aye people. And okran institute ne institute o kai 2015. Institute eje ma for ichenko ye mu and that is to do the same to show for eje so pa ye mu because President Milton, because they need President Milton about by only say America by your $500 million. I also in Saturn also only year 3 but you said to I'm telling you,
all right. Okay, Ilyasu, that's a self-prayer. Thank you for calling, Ilyasu. You too can call. Let me read some messages on Facebook. KMA Mayoba, 2 p.m. Asante Mampon. Okay, that's his name. Flooding everywhere. Our own irresponsible human activities has caused all these incidents. Let us all change our attitude to build the better Ghana we all want. My greetings to Chairman Maintain, Nana Kwesi Augustus Andrews, NDC Ashanti Regional chairman. All right, KMA Mayor, but thank you for sending in your comments. Teacher Kujo Tepenyine Suso says, karma they say is real, and President Mahama is reaping all the noise he made when in opposition towards the past government. John Mahama, upon assuming office, cancelled the contract with Zoom Lion and the only garbage company in Ghana, and expected the people to throw their garbage where? Since March 6, 1957, who has ever witnessed such a flood in Ghana other than under John Mahama? Greetings to Honorable Eric Nanajeman Prempe, MP for Hafuano North, Asanteman Koka JFK Nanabi, and Mr. Usu Bempa, the Nshiaso constituency chairman, hopeful. I'll come back to your messages on Facebook, but let me go back to the lines. Kennedy from Isakina. Good morning, Kennedy. Thank you for calling. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, for giving me this privilege to communicate with you on the line.
All right, Kennedy.
Yeah, this case is not about politics.
Okay.
We should remove politics from this issue, because this is a disaster that we should look at it from a different perspective. We should forget about threatening the government also not doing its part by voting or losing its vote. But this is a disaster that if the government can do something, there should be something like a long-term development plan for the nation. That is the only solution that we need. Because if that policy will be put in place, nobody will threaten the government by its own, I will not vote for you or you lose your vote. It will make the government concentrate on whatever he or she will be doing. And those who also are building on the riverside and then creating all those kind of things will also stop fooling around. But if there's nothing like a policy in this particular thing that that this long-term development plan, if it's not in a good place, this disaster will still continue. We will be facing this thing every now and then, and it will be even worse than this, because as I'm looking, this is a nationwide issue, because this disaster, if I will put it in a very good listing, I believe that it will be a nationwide flooding, and this flooding is not caused by the government. It is the rain, and it is our misbehavior of how we dam things and how we build roughly on the riverside that has caused all these kind of things. So if the government can put a very good measures down and put a long-term development plan in place, I believe all these things will be moved in the system. And any government that will come will still continue this long-term development plan. This thing will not be something that will be affected by any individual, because any government will know that the first government, where he reached, he stopped. I also have to continue and take it from there. So at the end of the day, nobody will do something, no government will do something and leave it, and the other one will come and just overlook it and do something else.
Okay.
It's not true. Their projects that they have been doing, at the end of the day, they will just waste the money, build something and leave it in the bush, and another one will come and also concentrate on another different thing, and they also leave it in the bush. And at the end of the day, it is our tax money that is wasting. If the government will put this long development plan in good in this thing, I believe all these things will not be something that will be fixing anymore. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Kennedy, for sharing your thoughts with us. Kennedy from Isakina, let's hear from you too. Well, this is Kelly's message. It's quite a long message. I'll try and read it all. Well, Kelly, good morning, ABENA. Greetings to your listeners. My name is Kelly, TikTok star from East Legon. If the government's primary response to Accra's flooding is to demolish these buildings perceived to be on waterways, we must ask, why are dozens of newly built government roads still inundated after heavy rains? The challenge is not solely housing location. It is an over-reliance on academic credentials and top-down expertise at the expense of collective civic action and the practical intelligence. I'll come back to your message, Kelly. I have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nyame adumi Ibrahim ya hoye na wonso e.
Mesu me hoye.
Ya de nyame asiete o.
Yo, mesu masema me kan say. Ya mani for no. Ya, nsɛm a wɔkeka no yɛ na yi wobɛka asɛm na akyire no asa bɛdi wo so ɛbere bi obi deɛ aban a ɔte so si a ɛka kyerɛ aban dada na ɔtwa mu sɛ ɔyɛ aban bɔne nti ɛna nsuo tɔ a ɛfa amanfoɔ ɛdɛ na akɔsi ne obi na ɛka tia wo asɛm a wokaeɛ no ɛna ɛsan ba nyankopɔn yi kyerɛ wo sɛ biribi to obi a ɛsɛ woboa no ɛka bi ma no na nkɔsɛe no sɛ sɛ wopɛ biribi ɛde ama wo ho nti wobɛkyia mo ne adwuma pa moyɛ
alright. Yeah, that's Ibrahim. Yeah, that's a well, back to Kelly's message. Flood, in my opinion, is impact of paper qualification over reliance without practical intelligence. Prevention and practical competence should be prioritized over excessive certificate requirements. Ghana's current flooding challenge in part stems from a system that often dismisses viable ideas because the individual lacks a PhD or master's degree, while overlooking the fact that human intelligence, experience, and innovation existed long before formal education. In practice, it is often the same hands-on experience that delivers results, regardless of the number of certificates submitted. What if tsunami struck from all weak coastal lines? We don't need to always say God forbid without giving Ghanaians access to reveal their potential. And that's Kelly from East Legon. JB from Tema Newtown is on the line. Thank you for calling, JB. Let's hear you. Ebenezer.
You can I say Ghana. You can president in 8 years. If you want to shoot 8 years, we are still now obi only on not viable 2 years when now we see the Pakuna would 8 years with say no only be uncle that who said I'm a man to the crowd only 8 years 8 good years now call it some of friend call us mama dear the friend said if you cry and almost say papa na enne so aba na ye quiet asobo na wo ba ka say ye o ba blame why blame papa na uti my blame no that is done when you know na me o yeah no wako no na you did share the business no and this so we can so you every video ni kata pite unia Ghana ni sena bisimitia na baba mtumika the change ni asano anya asama eta forma ya kan so ni wo ipe gaswa obi juma ni wo so na you don't call anybody blame what we call it stations that they are doing that it was the same thing was going on when NPP was in power. Even more than that. It's not sure the business.
All right.
So, yeah, it's sure the business. Yeah, Papa.
Yeah, that's it. So self-prayer. Thank you for showing your thoughts with that. I go back to Facebook and read Noah the Ark Builder's comment. Noah the Ark Builder inside Kokomlemle Fanufa Street, Accra. The journey towards a stronger and more vibrant NPP. Okay. Noah's talking about NPP. All right. The journey towards a stronger and more vibrant NPP requires leaders who can unite people, inspire confidence, and mobilize for success. Nana Eisen has consistently demonstrated these qualities through her commitment to party growth and grassroots engagement. Choose vision, choose unity, choose Nana Eisen. What is she standing for in the NPP? Noah, you did not let my audience know what she's standing for. Maybe there's somebody who could have voted for her. Well, thank you for your message this morning here on ABC in the morning. I can pick some few more calls, so you can call me on 024 725 7224 024 725 7224. I have Shaibu on the line. Shaibu from Salaga. Good morning, Shaibu. Thank you for calling. Let's listen to you.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, Shaibu.
I want to talk about the flood.
Please go ahead.
This is the flood. It's not from government or anything. It's from the human reason. Because the factor is not big. But later we carry our refuse and everything. We tell them where they do our business. We just dump inside the gutter. And the gutters are very small. So if they rain like this, you see that there is no space where the water went. Now we bring the water up to people's houses and everything. And we are blaming government that is something like this. That is from the human nature. So all this is from us. Not from any government decision. If we refuse to dump the document inside the gutter and other things, this plan will not pass. Thank you.
All right, Shaibu. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the matter, Shaibu from Salaga. Let's hear from you too. Very soon, when we are ending, we'll transition you to the forecourt of the State House, where the National Day of Thanksgiving, prayer and Thanksgiving is happening. You recall that President Mahama said today would be a day of prayer and Thanksgiving. It is Republic Day, actually. Today is 1st July. And so we celebrate Ghana becoming a republic 1st July 1960. And so we'll take you there pretty shortly so that you too be a part of the ceremony, the day of prayer and Thanksgiving happening there. But at that point, you can still call me and share your thoughts with me. 024 725 7224 024 725 7224 here on ABC in the morning. Let me hear from you. Share your thoughts with me on the conversations we have in the flooding situation. A very big one. President has directed Ministry of Finance to make some allocation of 300 million Ghana cedis for relief and mitigation. And so let's hear what you have to say. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, what's your name, sir?
Entry from
Entry. Okay, Entry. You called earlier. We missed you. Entry, let's hear you. Okay.
Original and our whole implement as well. Nate, you're feeling good now. You're feeling that I'm like that. I'm over Clago, how is from like the Friday? And you're very glad that referring to the work of nature. I am facing the pattern from other people who have to one more you can get all of them. I can see now. It is that's other thing. Just don't tell one thing to the world. That but was not here or complaining for no with time in time. As a woman,
all right, Entry. Yeah, that's a bit brave. Thank you for calling and sharing with us. Let's hear from you too. 024 725 7224 024 725 7224 on the flood situation. But you'd recall I read a statement by the Ministry of Health, telling us that we should be careful where we eat, how we conduct ourselves. Please, personal hygiene is very, very important during this period. Let's maintain personal hygiene to ensure that diseases associated with situations of flood do not become our portion. These are things we can avoid. You avoid it by washing your hands, by maintaining good personal hygiene. Very, very, very important. Please and please again, be careful where you're eating from. Ensure that you can trust the source of the food you are getting. And for those of us who have contaminated products and we still want to sell because of financial gain, please, it is not always we need to look at the financials of matters. Please weigh life and weigh the financials, and you know that life is more important than the financials. If flood waters have entered into your shop, very, very terrible flood waters, we see what they look like, obviously carrying some excreta and all, germs have entered into your shop. The biscuits you're selling, the drinks you're selling, the water you're selling, the cereal you're selling, whatever you're selling has been affected by the water. Don't say that I'll dry and resell. Please. We don't know what has happened to your product. You know. And so, make our health your priority. Don't sell it to that girl who's going to school, the boy who's going to school, the mother, the father who has decided to buy from your shop. You'll be selling disease to them. And we can't have that. It would be a very big disservice to us, a big blow to us, if after this period, cholera abounds, typhoid abounds. Please and please again. If you're living in an area where there's stagnant water, please clear the stagnant water. Let's not allow mosquitoes to fester, and then malaria will also become the norm. We beg you. We really are begging you. Our health, very important. I have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. I seem to have lost the caller. Please call back. Let me hear from you. I have a few minutes and then I'll be ending the calls. Please call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. What's your name, sir?
Charles.
Charles. Okay, thank you for calling, Charles. Charles, let's hear you.
Right. Okay. So I want to just talk about this in three ways.
Okay.
I want to talk from the point of the citizens, of we the people. Because I think I can hear me.
I can hear you, Charles. We hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. So first of all, I want to talk about us as a people, the way we do our things. Now, in my area alone, you will see people dumping anything in gutters, making it choke. Then we also have our leaders who have sold lands at places that they are not supposed to. You can see that this is a water area. Sometimes it's even a river. But you see people intentionally just pouring a sand, stones in it, telling it so that they blow it. And there are so many places I can just point to. That you can say, now, when you tell that this place was once a river, you will not believe. And when it rains, there's nowhere the water will just gather. So it will just be moving all over the place. Then again, as a nation, we like what our purpose is, that is idea, but we don't have.
Hello, Charles.
Hello.
Charles, can you position yourself better so we can hear you?
Is it okay?
Yes, it is. Let's hear you.
Oh, so I'm talking about as a nation, how are we also dealing with it? It should have a clear direction. Look at the video you're showing right now. Why should the amount of water pass on the surface of the road while there are gutters at both sides? The middle of the road should be raised so that water will slope to the left and the right. And now sometimes you are not even a layman. When you see how some people call engineers constructing road, the other are. So this gutter, if it rains for even 2 days, can it contain the amount of road depending on the area? So we are just going through a lot and we don't have a clear direction as a nation, and the individuals are also indisciplined, and these are what is causing us. But as we said, I'm happy you are saying that, but we should all take serious because of it. If the water has entered your room and other places, certain things, just avoid them. Your life is more precious. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Charles. We're grateful that you called. That will be all for the calls this morning on ABC in the morning. After this very quick break, we bring you happy hour. Some people are celebrating their birthdays. Let's celebrate with them.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomo. This advert is FDA approved.
Some things never change. Trends come and go, but in your cooking, you still choose the tomato mix you trust. Because real quality never changes. Thick, red, rich. Gino truly cares. This advert is FDA approved.
The culture never chills, and neither do we. Viral moments, breaking stories, new drops, exclusive interviews, spotlight artists shaping the sound right now, and our African star of the week taking over timelines. Then it's straight to the top 10, the songs running the streets, owning your playlist and living rent-free in your head. No skips, just heat, pure vibes. This is the Rundown, your ultimate destination for everything entertainment.
Some things never change when it comes to feeding your family. You choose what you trust. For generations, Gino has delivered the same dependable quality every time. Thick, red, rich. Gino truly cares. This advert is FDA approved.
Back ABC in the morning. It's time for happy hour. Some people are celebrating their birthdays. There's a happy birthday to Menazi. A happy birthday to Menazi as you celebrate your birthday. Happy birthday to musician Menazi. May long life filled with good health and prosperity be your portion. This is from Heredity and the entire Afienya musicians. Afienya in the building. Menazi, a happy birthday to you. And this is a belated happy birthday to our very own Godwin Opokuatre, our digital manager here at ABC News GH, popularly known as Gode. Gode, belated happy birthday to you. We really do appreciate you. We love you, and we pray that your birthday ignites the spark and ambition and determination, the spark of ambition and determination in you. We pray that you enjoy a very fruitful and successful year, and all that you pray for become a reality. Gode, from all of us, a happy birthday to you. A very special happy birthday from myself to you, Gode. Really do appreciate you and all that you bring to the team. Enjoy the year. And that's how we wrap up today's show here on ABC in the morning. A big thank you to you who joined me this morning. Thank you to Abdullahi Mahama, civil engineer, and Honorable Saint Cabo, assembly member for the Okese electoral area in Lekma, for speaking with us this morning. And huge thank you to you, my viewers, my callers, my texters. There's no ABC in the morning without you. I thank you that every morning you tune in here and you join me for the show. To the production and technical team, thank you for putting together today's show. Today is 1st July 2026, the first day of the 7th month. It is a beautiful month. Some very beautiful people are born in the month of July, and so a happy birthday to all of you who celebrated this month. We pray the best for you. And in this month, for all of you, my viewers, I remind you to keep your head up, to keep hope and faith alive, and not to relent in your pursuit of happiness. All that you seek to achieve, I pray that you do achieve them even more than you have projected. As we go about our duties, let's make sure that we keep our safety very, very paramount. Please be safe, and let us do what we can in our bid to make Ghana a better place. Don't litter. Even when the rains have come and we've seen the amount of plastics in our gutters, people are still littering. I beg you, please don't litter. Let's make Ghana as beautiful as the places that we like to travel to. Let's not litter. Let's keep our surroundings clean. As much as depends on us, let us do well to keep Ghana and make Ghana a better place as we demand better from our duty bearers. I wish you the best of the day. For more news, you should visit our website, www.abcnewsgh.com.